Good early after evening, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen. Just done a going live on sort of a variation on edge pairing, and as I was packing away, I thought, yeah, that's great, it's lovely, but you know, it works if you've got a pairing machine. Is there another way of doing it? Well, I've just had a little practice at something, and I'd like to share it with you, if that's okay. Basically, I've got the same piece of leather. I've cut off the bit that we paired before, but what I am now going to do is very quickly get my pairing knife, and I'm just going to pare down the edge. Now, once again, I'm going to be sort of working to a 2 centimeter turn in for my leathers, and I'm going to do something which I've only literally just practiced once, so it could go very, very wrong. But bear with me. I think this may work, and I know it may like 1 or 2 viewers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some masking tape, layering up one piece, layering up the other piece accurately on top, like this, and then using a 2 centimeter wide ruler. Of course, you could measure it and mark it off. What I am going to do is I'm just going to draw in my biro line. Now, this is where it can get quite interesting. So, marking in my biro line, a nice strong line. Picking up the masking tape, and I don't know if you can see that, but we can just make out, if I hold it up to the light slightly, we can just make out that the biro line is visible through the masking tape. I'm going to lay that down onto my glass surface, if my fingers will let me do that. You swine. There you go, done it. And then I'm going to lay the leather on top of the masking tape, following that biro line as closely as I can. Now this, sorry, on the other way around, I should say. No, I've done it the right way around. You see how new I am to this. So just laying that down, just gently getting it into the right place. If it's in the wrong place, just lift it up, put it down. Gently affirm and establish that the masking tape is in the right place. Then what I am going to do is I'm just going to trim off the surplus masking tape. Now, a pairing machine can cost quite a lot of money, and what I'd like to do is basically show you 2 alternative ways of using kit that you may already have, or that is affordable, because I know some people have said, you're so lucky having this equipment. Trust me, luck has nothing to do with it. It's called hard work and saving your money. Look, as if it falls into your lap. Right, so now what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to get my glass again, and then some of you may be familiar with one of these. This is a Little Giant. It is a fantastic little machine and costs about 1/10, probably less than a pairing machine. Basically, it's like a little hand plane, and in here we've got a razor. You can see how the colour is changing within the leather itself. Now, isn't that absolutely super duper? Now, the beauty of using the masking tape on the reverse side, on the hair side of the leather, is that the leather doesn't stretch as you're pairing it. Of course, you've got to be careful with what you're doing. Don't take too much of the leather off. But it is sort of, well, I'm not going to say it's idiot-proof at using this little handheld device, but it's doing it for me, and quite seriously, this is only the 2nd time I've done it. So it's not rocket science, kids. It's actually quite doable. Now, how is that for accuracy? Look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. So feel it with your finger, make sure it's still smooth. I can still feel a slight bump there. Now, I've doubled over my masking tape, so it's double thickness masking tape, and I'm taking off about the correct amount to leave me with a turn-in of about 0.4 of a millimetre. Isn't that dead simple? Now, obviously, if you haven't got one of these, and these can be a little bit tricky to get one, look them up online. It's a Little Giant razor blade planer. They are absolutely super duper, and thank you, Paul, for that one. That was a gift. Now, the other way of doing it, of course, is with a knife. Using the same principle, just go along the raised area with your knife until you start taking out the body leather, just as you would. So those are 2 more variations on accurately pairing in or pairing down your turn-in. Nice and easy to do. When I've got it nice and smooth and everything's level and I'm quite happy with it, what I can now do is I can re-establish that turn in, just as we did before. Move it into the light. It's getting a little bit dark in here. The sun is going down and the clouds are out in London. I can then remove the masking tape. Look at the muck in here. Where's the intern when I need one? So look, just taking that off, and I can feel the step very, very distinctly. And then what I can do is I can just run my blade over the leather just to get rid of that step in the normal way, the way that we're now familiar with. Keep dusting out, making sure no dust gets caught underneath the leather you're pairing, and do it that way. And there you go. Look, you can see that it's only, the leather's only been taken off in this area here. So this does mean that this is lower, and that means we can do the job at the fraction of the price of a pairing machine. And well, that's how ideas happen. And with a little bit of practice, you put your ideas into action, and you can make things work. So there you have it, the little giant. Few quid, not much. Takes razor blades exactly the same way as a pairing machine. Very low tech, but it does the job very beautifully. And you can just see that the razor blade is in here, so I just take this little wing nut out, and there's the razor blade in there. This is Derby, but of course other manufacturers of blades are available. Thank you all very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This is Studio 5 with the little giant, an alternative way of pairing your leather turn-ins nice and accurately, and only for a few quid more than the razor blade itself. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be safe out there. And this was Studio 5 going live for the second time today. Unbelievable.